So, hello everyone. My name is Dwayne Mosby. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am the program coordinator for the Resource Center for Sexual and Gender Diversity. Thank you so much for joining us today for our 6th annual LGBTQIA plus orientation. I understand that this is strange. This is not how we normally do it. So I'm really grateful to all of our partners today who are willing to be here and be a part of this amazing program, and to all of y'all who have, after a really long day, decided to tune in and learn more about LGBTQ plus resources on campus. So we have an absolutely amazing set of resources that are available to y'all. So we'll start off going a little bit into about us as a center, as the RCSGD, and about what we do, going into some resources and ways that we advocate for you all on campus. Then we will transition to our guest presenters, and I will be introducing those folks as they come up. And then following that, we'll be having a virtual roundtable session. So for the virtual roundtable session, and I will also say this at the end, is you all should have received an email with a list of Zoom links. And so for the Zoom session that you would like to learn more about, or for the organization that you would like to learn more about, once we dismiss you all, simply click on that link and you'll be able to enter the room. None of the rooms have passwords. They all have waiting rooms. So you'll be able to just be clicked in and entered by those folks. And so just also to be respectful of folks' time for our presenters, if you're tabling, folks really aren't entering your space, respect your time as well and feel free to leave. Just go ahead and shoot us a message. That way we can let folks know in case they're wondering and looking for your room. So as we jump right into this, we would like to begin with the land acknowledgement. So before we commence, we wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this place and all land upon which the university and we as individuals are located. We pay our respects to the Chumash elders, past, present, and future, for they hold the memories, the traditions, and the culture of these areas, which have become a place of learning for people from all over the land. So this is specifically for the UC Santa Barbara, which is built on indigenous Chumash land. For some folks, wherever you might be at home and in different areas, this presentation will be sent to you afterwards. That link is hyperlinked and it tells you which native lands you are currently residing on. We really encourage you to look, do some research and find out more, and also support our indigenous and native folks. Right now, something that we've been sharing is that Doctors Without Borders is currently doing a lot of work due to COVID-19 within indigenous land. So please be sure that you're supporting our indigenous and native communities in whichever way that you can. So we're going to jump right into some resources with us for the RCSGD. So the first thing that we like to tell folks about when you're first getting introduced to UCSB is it's really, really awesome if you try to delve into as many organizations and find where you belong with as possible. As you can see, we have a large group of our active student organizations currently here on campus. These are just some of them. So there's Queer and Trans Community, which is a general kind of body one. That has actually been around since 1970, which when it was originally established as the Queer Student Union. We also have OSTEM, which focuses on queer and trans folks who are out in STEM, UCSB Keshet, Trans Queer Commission, which is actually a part of Associated Students who will be presenting later, Black Queer, which focuses on Black, queer, and trans folks, Friendly Undergraduate Queers in It Together, aka Fuck It, and you are allowed to say that, which focuses on having a really fun time for undergraduate folks, La Familia de Colores, and so we also have a representative from LAFA who will be presenting later, UndocuQueer, UndocuTrans Collective, which looks at as a support space for folks who have that intersection of being undocumented and queer or trans, as well as our Queer and Trans Graduate Student Union. And so that is specifically aimed towards graduate students. And at the center, we have a graduate student assistant who actually works along with Queer and Trans Graduate Student Union to make sure that we're providing resources to you all. If you want to learn more about some of these student organizations that are currently on our campus, we really encourage you to visit our website. It's really, really robust. And I will mention that throughout this presentation. We have over 25 plus resource pages, all of our different collaborators on there, and different ways to get involved. So if you want to learn more about the details and contact information for each of these organizations, we really encourage y'all to go ahead and visit our website, which is rcsgd.sa.ucsb.edu. So if that's too confusing, just type in UCSB LGBT. We should be the first thing that pops up. Also, I forgot to mention just a couple things. One is I talk very fast. So if I'm going a little bit too fast for folks, please message me, let me know to slow down. If y'all have questions at any point, please go ahead, put those in the chat, and then I'll be sure to answer them as they come up. So next up, another resource that we have is name and pronoun advocacy. So if folks haven't already, we really encourage you all to go into UCSB Gold and go ahead and put your pronouns in. So that is something that we worked on advocating for the past couple of years. And so we were finally able to instill it last year. There's over 5,000 folks on campus who have indicated their pronouns on Gold. And we really want to make sure that we're normalizing pronouns. They are preferred. They are something that are innately within folks. So the RCSGD offers it. And if you're experiencing a professor or a TA or someone within your classroom who is not respecting your name or pronouns, we will actually advocate on your behalf. We can go speak to a professor, go speak to a teaching assistant, and make sure that you're in a safe and equitable learning environment. We also offer assistance with name and pronoun change. So our amazing Associate Director, Quinn Solis, they use they, them pronouns. They actually offer not legal advice, but they can walk you through the paperwork of getting your legal name and gender changed. We also have the step-by-step process to make sure that your name and pronouns are changed through all of the university systems that are here at UCSB. That includes Gold, Student Health Services, Access Cards, UMails, and NetID. Those all have different systems to get those done. And so in order to make sure that you're hitting all of those steps and that you're not being misgendered or dead named within any of those spaces, we really, again, encourage you to visit our website, visit our resources page on how to change your name. Events. So this is my specialty. So my role at the RCSGD is the program coordinator. So I oversee our programming, our mentorship program, and our volunteer program. In terms of events, even with everything that's happening right now, even with all the madness that's happening this quarter, we are still offering over 80 plus events this quarter. We had a queer dining event today. We have various discussion spaces for gender nonconforming and trans folks, QTPOC folks, bi folks, lesbian folks. Our identities, which focuses on other identities, including Middle Eastern, North African folks, as well as API DESI folks. So if you're interested in being a part of any of those spaces, we really encourage you to go to our website, or you can visit us on our social media. We post those updates there about what's happening within our center weekly, and you can see a full range of what our programmings are. So we have programs that are specifically targeted toward grad students or undergraduates, and they exist from being professional development stuff to drag shows to our Trans Revolution series, where we bring really big name speakers to campus. Just last year, we were able to bring MJ Rodriguez. We're also planning on bringing Ryan Casada this year, Pakrat Lonvin from HBO's Legendary. So whatever kind of niche that you are looking to find, we probably have programming for it. And if there's a program that you want and you see that is not taking place, become part of our volunteer program, or you can submit an event request form on our website. We're very open to those. We'll reach out to you, contact you, talk to you more about your vision, and try to make sure that we're enacting it in future quarters, because if you want to see it, other students probably want to see it as well. Next up is our mentorship program. So with our mentorship program, we connect LGBTQ plus students, undergraduate students, with LGBTQ identified faculty, staff, and graduate student mentors. Graduate students have the ability to choose to either be a mentee or a mentor. And when we're pairing folks, we don't just look at what your major is. We also look at gender identities, sexual identities, what your hobbies are. We really want to make sure that when we're creating these pairings, that we're creating long-lasting relationship. In fact, there's a couple of folks who are part of this call right now who have been a part of our mentorship program in the past. And they're planning on enrolling once again in the future. It's also really awesome because we have special professional development events for those folks. We have special events, networking events for those folks, workshops, and we always try to make sure that we're checking in with our pairings to make sure that it is a kind of relationship that you want to check in with and that you're feeling supported in all of those aspects. Some of the folks who have been a part of our mentorship program have been in communications with their mentors 5+ years. Others have gotten internships and research opportunities from being a part of it. So even if you're not sure you want to be really be a part of it, or if someone might be a match for you, I really encourage y'all to go ahead and apply and see if we are able to find the mentor who works best for you. The other thing that we have is supporting LGBTQ plus students in the classroom. So TAs, graduate assistants who might be a part of this call, if you're looking for ways to better support your students in the classroom, we actually have a guide talking about campus resources, some techniques, strategies that will really make sure that you're creating an equitable and safe learning environment. For folks who may be having a TA or a graduate student who just doesn't get how to make it an equitable environment, this might be a useful handout for you to give to them or share with them in order to make sure that everyone in that environment is feeling supported. The other really amazing thing that we offer are our trainings. So I'm sure that folks have heard of safe zone trainings at some point or another. So we actually moved away from the phrasing of using safe zone trainings because you can't necessarily guarantee someone's safety within a space. Also, some folks would go to safe zone training and be like, "Poof, pow, I'm done." And then they'll put a sticker on their window and still say something that's inherently homophobic or transphobic. So in order to steer away from that and encourage continuous learning, we called ours Queer Trans Identities and Experience Seminars. So our Associate Director, Quinn, really worked with students, talked with them, planned over the course of a couple of quarters, and we're continually developing new seminars about the materials that students wanted to be communicated the most. So every time you visit our training, you can get a sticker or a little flag, but these stickers aren't like safe zone training completed. They're like little rainbow flag stickers, little environmental cues to show that you've done some learning and have put in the effort to learn more about the LGBTQI+ community. If you're interested in getting a special training for your department or maybe for an organization that you're in, we can absolutely schedule that. We have a QT education coordinator who goes ahead and does that kind of scheduling and does that one-on-one stuff. And we also have a new position this year, our graduate assistant for education initiatives, who's actually creating an online module for us. So soon we'll actually be able to have this done virtually and be able to offer that for folks. So for a full kind of course menu of the trainings that we offer, go ahead and visit our website at /education/trainings. Next up is our social media information. So be sure to follow us and stay up to date on all of our events, services, and more. Again, our website is rcsgd.sa.ucsb.edu. If you visit that website, you'll also be able to find ways to contact us and see our newsletter in there as well. Some Facebook pages that we really encourage incoming queer and trans students to join are the Queer and Trans Community page, the UCSB QT community page, and then for those who are looking for housing or roommates, there's a Queer Housing Santa Barbara Isla Vista page that's really useful. It is run by students for students, so it is a space where you can feel safe to be able to join. The list of those are also private, so folks won't necessarily be able to see it if you aren't out. So keeping up to date with us, following our social media is the absolute best way to know what is happening with our center, absolute best way to reach us. Our Facebook and our Instagram are the most active. If you want to follow our Twitter, you'll get some fire memes, but all of our info is exactly the same, just rcsgd.ucsb. And we also have a YouTube. So following this event, we're currently recording this for folks who have been entering during. So afterwards, after this event, we'll go ahead, edit it, and then you'll be able to go to our YouTube. On our YouTube right now, we currently have some of our cooking shows, our Into the Night drag show, some panels. And so almost all of our events that aren't discussion spaces, we're trying to digitize this year and make available to folks. So that way, just in case folks don't have the capacity to tune in, they might have missed it just a little bit or weren't able to get all the information. We want to make sure that's readily accessible to folks. So if there's any kind of event that you missed, check out our YouTube and you might be able to see it. So on behalf of financial aid and scholarships, I just wanted to add some more information. So they actually created this really amazing resource this year called Scholarship Universe. And so Scholarship Universe has over 11,000 vetted scholarship opportunities in the database. You as a UCSB student, all you have to do is go ahead, type in your login info, type in your net ID, and then you'll get access to all of this stuff. I also recommend if you have the time and you really need to identify some more of those resources, we actually have a scholarships and internships page on our website that has a complete list of nationwide LGBTQ+ scholarships and internships. There's also some of those internships that are broken up by area. So if you're more based, this is more looking at California. If you're more based in the Bay Area or LA, there are some specific internships and scholarship opportunities that are available to you that are also on our website. But please, 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 I 10 out of 10 recommend, as someone who graduated from UCSB, a lot of these scholarships is free money floating around. So take your time, go through it and look at it. And some of these are super easy. And listen, once you craft one essay, it's really easy to tweak it to get another scholarship. And so if you ever need any help with that, you can always come to us or contact the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships. And unfortunately, they weren't able to join us today, but the Office of International Students and Scholars wanted me to relay this message to you all. So please excuse me while I read this. I know how annoying it is for folks to read off of a slide, but dear RCSGD community and family, on behalf of the Office of International Students and Scholars, we would like to welcome you to UCSB. We're thrilled you have decided to join our diverse, vibrant, and multicultural campus. OISS and RCSGD work together to provide UCSB's international LGBTQ plus community robust and meaningful programs such as this year's International Education Week LGBTQ plus discussion panel, as well as our annual Identities International, a social and intimate space for identifying international students to share their experiences and to bring to light issues affecting queer and trans communities across the globe. We hope to meet you at an event soon and wish you a successful fall quarter. In solidarity, the Office of International Students and Scholars. We work very close with ISS. In fact, like our office is located right next to them once we're actually on campus. So we are trying to offer more programming for international students this year. Another great resource for you all is Queer Commission actually just created a new international student coordinator position. So you can also reach out to TQCOM, that's the Trans and Queer Commission, in order to get more interaction with the international student community. So like I said, I talk very fast. I blew through all of our information very, very quickly, but we do have a lot of presenters today. And so this actually worked out for the better of which. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through and call up our first of presenters. Presenters, you should have gotten a presenter order list. If not, double check it, and then I will go ahead and begin to introduce folks. So for just a moment, I am going to stop sharing my screen. Oh, yes, all these wonderful faces. Hello, hello, hello. And so first up for our speakers, we have the Office of the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs. So yes. Miles.
Hi, Dwayne. Thanks so much for having us. I'm Miles Ashlock. I am not your Vice Chancellor. I am Chief of Staff in the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs here at UC Santa Barbara. And I'm so glad to get to meet you all, hopefully have a little bit of conversation and just kind of kick off this sharing by partners outside of the RCSGD. I will tell you a little bit about myself and then a little bit about our division, and you are about to hear so much more exciting information about what's going on at UCSB, even while we're in this period of remote instruction. And I'm just so excited to welcome you. So I'm Miles, pronouns he, him, his. I am a UCSB alum, did my bachelor's degree in psychology here and my master's and some doctoral work in educational leadership. As I mentioned, I'm the Chief of Staff, so I have an administrative role working closely with our Vice Chancellor, Margaret Clawoon, who you'll see a photo of in a moment, who is, I will tell you, an absolutely heartfelt, extraordinary, dedicated ally to our LGBTQ plus community. I work very closely with her, and I say that with utmost confidence that we have a really tremendous ally in our Vice Chancellor's office. She also is really, really open to meeting with students. So I'll provide contact information, but I just want to express that this office is absolutely open, and we would love to hear from you throughout your student journey. I also just want to emphasize that every resource on campus is for you. So, you know, the RCSGD and our LGBTQ plus oriented organizations provide fantastic resources and community, and they're a great way to help understand and navigate the resources across the community. But please, you know, expect to feel welcome and supported across the campus. That is our expectation. And as Dwayne shared, any places that you might encounter not feeling that way, you have places that you can come back to speak with, and we will be there for you. Next slide, please. Just a warm welcome from all of us in the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. You might be going, what is Student Affairs and what do we do? And I'll explain that in just a moment. We provide strategy and planning and communication across our division of about 30 units, and I'll list those in a moment. We also are really interested in understanding the student voice, representing that to the broader administration of our large and complex university. On the slide, you'll see Dr. Margaret Clowoon, our Vice Chancellor. She's been on our campus for 5 years and came from Brown University. She, again, is brilliant and dedicated and genuinely student-centered. And my colleagues, all of us in the office, again, hope to see you sometime in the Vice Chancellor's office so we can hear about your experience. If you'd like to get in touch, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at VCSA office at sa@studentaffairs.ucsb.edu or visit our website, or you're always welcome to contact me personally. I am a member of UCSB's queer community and certainly want to make myself available to you as a resource in addition to the RCSGD. Next slide, please. In terms of what is student affairs, there's so many departments. What a list. I could literally spend an hour on this slide. I will not do that. We don't expect you to memorize this, but simply want you to be familiar with all of the great resources that are ready to serve you and support you on your path to graduation. So instead, let's think of it in a few simple categories. Next slide, please. Your academic life, from getting admitted to UCSB through admissions and applying for financial aid and receiving that, from registering to classes and getting support through Campus Learning Assistant Services, CLAS, and career services, all of that is student affairs. Your social life, getting involved in campus organizations, finding community in places like the RCSGD, and much, much more. That is all student affairs. And your personal life. For instance, getting physical and mental health care, taking proactive steps to reduce stress, joining an intramural team. And right now they're offering online esports intramurals. All of that is student affairs as well. So we have a really broad offering. And next and last slide. So how do you make the most of this? We have a few really straightforward channels to get involved. The first thing is Shoreline. It's our official engagement platform for students. It's at shoreline.ucsb.edu. You can log in with your NetID and password. You can find more than 700 events coming up in the next 8 weeks. So there is a lot going on our virtual campus right now. So I really encourage you to check that out. You can also download the UCSB Shoreline app on your iOS or Android device. Next is the Student Affairs Directory, and this is one of my favorite web pages. It's simple but comprehensive. So if you go to sa.ucsb.edu/departments, you'll find a directory of all of those 30 departments that I listed, and quick links to their URLs, their social media, things like that. So again, just really be thinking of course, you can't use all 30 at once in a single day, but be thinking about how you're going to make the most of your UCSB experience and which of our services might be of great interest or help to you. And last but not least, I hope you've been seeing our weekly preview emails, but we'll continue to send those at least through our period of remote instruction. And that's giving you a preview of events and important announcements that are coming up. We know you get a lot of email, and we're trying to provide a consolidated place for a taster of all the great things happening on campus. So with that, feel free to contact me in the chat if you have any questions. Otherwise, just want to give you the warmest welcome on behalf of all of us in Student Affairs. Thanks so much, Dane.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Miles. And so up next, we have Rod from Recreation.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Dwayne. And Miles, thank you for the plug as well. What a great day to be a gaucho. Rod, not he, him, his. I get to be an assistant director for the Department of Recreation, and I get to specifically run the adventure programs. So recreation at UCSB is pretty exciting. I mean, as you all are well aware, we have a tremendous amount of opportunity with our different spaces. We got mountains, we have the ocean. And confirm, Dwayne, I'm only seeing you with a thumbs up. Are you looking at my slide notes, or are you looking at my main presentation? You're seeing my slide notes, right? Okay.
I'm seeing your main presentation.
Then we're going with that. All right. So with that main presentation, we want to just start off and give you all kind of a big picture overview of what recreation looks like here at UCSB.
Here, there are no textbooks to read, no papers to write, no finals to take. Here is your escape. Here is where your only worry is to allow your mind and body to become one. Come here to challenge yourself, swim that extra mile, climb that extra hole, Find your rhythm, your creativity, your drive. Don't restrict yourself to one thing. Here, you are able to immerse yourself in opportunities to be a better you. Here, we are active, adventurous, artists. We are healthy, sustainable, world-class. We are athletes, teammates, champions. Here, you will find more than just what you're good at. You'll find what you love. This is recreation. Here, you will find your fit.
Bam, there it is. Find your fit. For us, this is much more than fitness. It's for the idea that this is where gauchos have an opportunity to find their health, wellness, balance, and where they thrive at UCSB for physical activity and even mental activity. And so we actually have a lot of different programs, services, and facilities in recreation, way more than just the gym. And so I'd like to call people's attention to the Gaucho Rec classes. That stands for the Recreation and Exercise classes. Right now, we have a load of them online through Shoreline. Thank you for mentioning that, Miles. And that's where you can go to see what's coming up, sign up, and do a yoga, do a Get Up Gaucho fitness, stretching, meditation. There's a lot of great programming on there right now. But when we do get to be in person, this also includes pottery, includes looming. It includes how-to sports, how to swim, how to sail, how to play racquetball, basketball, golf, and the list goes on. Sport clubs. These are the athletics on campus available to everyone. And if you want to play, you get to play. And so it's not a matter of tryouts. It's a matter of learning something new, like maybe being on the climbing team, maybe being on the rowing team, the sailing team, maybe something you didn't have access to in high school that you might be interested in trying. They'll teach, they'll coach, get you up to the level where you might go to national championship tournaments and competitions. Right now, we are boasting over 85 national championship titles in the last number of years. This is huge. We're one of the most accomplished sport club programs in the United States. We're super proud of that. Intramural sports, Miles mentioned this, most popular program we offer. Over 10,000 gauchos a year participate in intramural sports. And thank you, Miles, for mentioning right now, esports is kind of a thing. Yeah, games, video games. And so it is happening. And in fact, there's a tournament coming up over Halloween weekend, and we have different games happening regularly. The best program we offer is adventure programs. And I say that because that's what I get to run. That's what I get to do. I'm the outdoor guy. Oh my goodness, kayaking, rock climbing, backpacking, scuba diving. You've got to scuba dive before you leave UCSB. We have a rental center program down at Campus Point in the rec center where you can get all the gear and equipment for backpacking and camping, backpacks, ground pads, sleeping bags, tents, coolers, stoves, the list goes on. At Campus Point, surfboards, kayaks, stand-up paddleboards, wetsuits. The Adventure Pass is the best hack on campus, the Netflix of outdoor sports. $59, 12 months, unlimited rentals. You could literally surf every day for a year for $60. We think you should probably also go to class, but definitely want to support your outdoor habit. And I'm excited when we get to be back in person. Dwayne and I have talked about trying to do some more queer programming. We did a queer kayak program a while back. We did Joshua Tree trip. And so looking forward to doing that again once we can kind of get that back rolling. Facilities, award-winning facilities for sustainability. And so we're big into that, but it's our rec center, it's our fields, and it's the stadiums, it's the tennis courts, loads of facilities, but you've got to check out our special events. And so all throughout the year, sometimes weekly, quarterly, monthly even, like a log rolling. Who knew that was a thing? When we're back into the pool, every Friday, the log is in the pool and you can hop on and see if you can log roll. So, oh my goodness, super fun stuff. Getting connected, certainly all of the social media, but Shoreline. Right now, As Miles mentioned, that is really the way to get connected and see all the different programs, services that are happening across campus and especially in recreation. So with that, my goodness, thank you all very much for being a gaucho. In fact, I'm also a gaucho. I graduated in 1998. I know I don't look it, but my goodness, been around a long time and excited that y'all are here. Stoked to host a breakout room a little bit. So if you have any like more detailed questions about any of the programs, I definitely look forward to talking with you. With that, Dwayne, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rod. I take advantage of that $60 pass during that time. So I really, really do recommend using it if you can. It's really awesome. So next up, we should have a speaker from GradDiv. So Sam, are you here with us? Sam, I'm calling you from Zoom. Are you here with us? Okay, well, just in case Sam joins us later, I will go ahead and add them back in. But for now, next up as a resource, we have care services. And I will project for y'all in just a moment. Perfect. Oopsie daisy.
Sorry, I was muted. That was a wild ride, but let me get that started. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Diego. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. I am a fourth year CCS bio major, and I am also a care peer educator with the Campus Advocacy Resources and Education Office, or CARE for short. Today, I want to talk to y'all a little bit about our resources that we have available for all students. Okay, so the care department works with students who have experienced interpersonal violence, such as relationship violence, stalking, or sexual assault, as well as roommates, loved ones, and parents who are close to someone who has experienced interpersonal violence. In addition, we host campus-wide educational programs, trainings, and prevention education. Our role is to train and educate students, staff, and faculty to respond appropriately when a student discloses to them that they have been affected by interpersonal violence. The care advocates that we have available provide confidential support to students, staff, and faculty impacted by interpersonal violence. Confidentiality means that a student can speak privately with an advocate without reporting to law enforcement or the university. Advocates use the empowerment model, which means they believe that survivors are the best at making the decisions for themselves when seeking services, and their role as an advocate is really to provide guidance and support throughout their needs. Care advocates are here. I'm sorry, I'm like blowing through this. I also talk really fast. So if you have any questions, we have the breakout rooms, but I'll continue. Care advocates are here to provide options and explain their rights to a survivor who has experienced interpersonal violence. We understand that every experience is unique, and we support survivors in making decisions that are right for them when navigating their options. For example, our advocates can help get someone who is in an abusive relationship get connected to a counseling, or help someone who's experiencing stalking change their schedule. Care advocates also go with students to medical or court appointments and sit through judicial processes with students. Additionally, we often walk students from one resource to another to make sure they're connected to the appropriate services and don't have to navigate university processes alone. This here is our advocacy wheel. It's just a few ways that advocates can support survivors on our campus. But in order to support all of these areas of advocacy, the care team has contacts and relationships with many of the offices on campus, including CAPS, OISS, EOP, and DSP. As you can see, there are a lot of different ways to support survivors, but one thing that I really wanted to focus on is reporting. So reporting, we often help students report to law enforcement. And because it can be really intimidating for some students, UCSB PD and Isla Vista Foot Patrol officers come directly to our office to take a report from a student. During remote campus operations, we can connect with UCSB PD detectives over Zoom to take reports. We can also help navigate with other police and sheriff's departments to have Zoom appointments and to have a student's local police agency report. However, I want to highlight that even without reporting, survivors can request to change housing, and they can also change their schedules as part of their Title IX rights. But it's important to note that not everyone on campus is a confidential resource. Some people like RAs or professors and most staff on campus are required to report to law enforcement or the Title IX office. I mean, sorry, not law enforcement, but they are required to report it, instances of violence to the university. During COVID-19, CARE is fully operational via Zoom video calls and phone appointments and accompaniments. We're also open to international students. They're still available to seek our services, even if they're out of the country, but we're limited in resources for other locations and timings of appointments. Prior to UCSB remote work and instructions, CARE had 2 locations for services. One was inside the Student Resource Building, right before you hit the stairs. When you enter the building, there's a big sign that says CARE, and the other one is in Isla Vista within the Gaucho Support Center above the Ivy Neighborhood Clinic. Usually we have a map here, but I'm sorry, that's not available. CARE advocates are available to students who have experienced violence 24 hours a day, 7 days a week via our advocacy line. The number is right here, 805-893-4613. In addition to calling for appointments, students can go to the website and make an appointment anonymously. I want to emphasize that our survivors never go through anything alone. And if you have any other questions or you want to learn how to get involved with CARE, we'll be available at our tabling session after this. And yeah, that's it for CARE. So back to you, Dwayne.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And then next up, we'll be having rapid rehousing services. So Rebecca, and I will share my screen for you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I'm really excited to be joining everyone today. My name is Rebecca Pluck, and I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Basic Needs and Rapid Rehousing Manager. Ugh, long name. And I'm really excited to kind of talk very briefly about kind of more our rapid rehousing focused basic needs programs. I know there's going to be another presentation, I think, right after us that's going to more focus on the larger scope basic needs resources that are available to folks. So this next few slides is just going to help us with navigating housing specific resources within the scope of like emergency support. So we can go ahead and jump to our first slide there. So one of the main resources I wanted to be sure to touch on today was on transitional housing. This is actually a newer program within the scope of rapid rehousing. By the way, all the programs I'm going to be talking about in the next few slides are administered by the Financial Crisis Response Team. We've got our contact email on the bottom of all the slides there. So if there's any takeaways or, just not sure where to start or who to get in touch with, just go ahead and email the Financial Crisis Response Team at that address listed there. Transitional housing, though, is a newer program. We just turned 1 year old earlier this month, so it's really exciting. This resource in particular, though, I was really excited to get off the ground because it's technically temporary housing support for a student who does not have secure, safe, and stable housing at this moment. We're typically able to place students within 24 to 48 hours of us kind of being notified of the circumstances. And it's for up to a 25-day period if the student needs the full 25 days. So previous to this program, we didn't really have something that we were able to provide immediate, more short-term housing relief for folks. So another element of this program is we're able to provide a meal plan and kind of case management support throughout the process. Whatever the emergency circumstance might be, we want to really help that student navigate it through that time period. A student might need just a few days for transitional housing needs. They might need the full 25 days, and we really want to work with you to support you throughout that time. So, if you're in the Santa Barbara area and you are experiencing a housing related emergency, this would definitely be a program to really think about. So as far as kind of hours of operation. We really try to respond to folks who are reaching out to that crisis email within 24 to 48 hours of outreach. So we're definitely going to be monitoring for that. And if you're not really comfortable, getting into the details of your circumstances in the email, that is totally fine and not at all required. Typically, our financial crisis advisors will just follow up with you once you reach out to them to set up a Zoom appointment to kind of discuss the situation a little bit more so we can get you some support. But yeah, so we can go to our next resource there. Another one within the rapid rehousing scope I wanted to mention was our housing voucher program, which looks a little bit differently now, but we're still able to do it, even in the remote environment. So for folks who might have a financial-based emergency where they're unable to pay their rent right now, I know there's a lot going on right now as far as kind of like loss of income from work. And we're able to provide, through the financial crisis response team, housing voucher support. So whether that's for the university housing folks or for folks who are just not in the immediate area, who might be living somewhere off campus, not even in the Santa Barbara community, who are unable to make their rent payments. We want to hear from you. We want to provide support to you in this way as well. So the housing voucher program is typically designed to support students. It can really depend, but it's typically 1 month's worth of rent payment, either within the university scope or in an off-campus housing situation. These are typically one-time grant support opportunities, but when you're connecting with the financial crisis advisor through that process, we want to help you navigate other resources and kind of talk through financial aid options as well. And kind of on that note, we can take it to our almost last slide there. On the case management support piece, we really want to provide as much holistic support to students throughout the process of whatever the emergency might be. We really understand that it's not just necessarily a one-note circumstance that might be coming up for folks. For example, if maybe I'm unable to make a rent payment right now, there might be more going on. I might also need some academic support. I might need to get linked up with some of the other resources that are available to me on campus, which is another thing that we definitely like to lean on with the financial crisis response team. So the big takeaways here is how to get in touch. How do I apply? Where do I start? Just remember that email address that's been listed on these slides here. And then the last thing I would just like to mention is we did have a QR code incorporated in there, which shout out to Maribel for creating this and getting this off the ground. So both myself and Maribel Rodriguez, who is our Rapid Rehousing Communications intern, she's on the call as well.
Hi, everyone.
We'll be on the breakout room dedicated for rapid rehousing. If anyone wants to chat a little bit more about this resource, we're happy to see you there. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rebecca. So up next, we actually have UCSB Thrive.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to first apologize in advance for any background noise you might be hearing. I'm in a shopping center right now, so struggle is real. Speaking of struggles, I'm presenting UCSB Thrive. UCSB Thrive is an org that's dedicated to many things, but most importantly, it helps students who might be facing any sort of challenges relating to basic needs. Oftentimes we get the question of what exactly is basic needs, and this again can mean many different things depending on who you're asking. But typically we're referring to things like food security, housing security, financial security, really anything that's necessary for a student to thrive and do what they came to UCSB to do. So with that said, there are 5 key resources that I'm hoping you guys can sort of take a mental note of and keep in your metaphorical toolbox for resources. So if you want to go ahead and move on to that second slide right there. The first of those resources is CalFresh. CalFresh is a federally funded nutritional assistance program that provides students with up to $194 per month in groceries. So essentially what that really long description means is that you get free money to go out and buy food. It's pretty awesome. I have CalFresh myself. I can't tell you enough about how much of a lifesaver it is to just be able to go to the grocery store and not worry so much about every single dollar you're spending. For that reason, we would recommend that anybody who is interested apply. You can see that our website is linked down below, are eligible potentially, and if so, there's instructions on how to apply and who to connect with for the application process. So we can go ahead and move to the next slide now. Another resource that I want to plug is the AS Food Bank. This is one of the 2 food pantries that we have located on campus. This is a service that's open to essentially any and all registered UCSB students who meet the income threshold. It's a very simple process. You walk into the food bank, which is located inside of the University Center, and you're handed a bag that has fresh food, pantry essentials, a bunch of good stuff. There's really not much more to say because it is such a simple process, which is exactly why we recommend any students who feel they would benefit from this service to go out and utilize it. Of course, we recognize that food isn't the only need that students may run into. So that's where we have things like the Financial Crisis Response Team, which we just heard from Rebecca about. I'm not going to go into much detail because she already did a great job of presenting that. And another resource is the Rapid Rehousing Program, again, covered by Rebecca. Nothing more to say other than those 2 are great resources, and we recommend all students reach out to them. Lastly, we have the Basic Needs Peer Advocates. So these are trained undergraduate students who are equipped to advise other students, whether they are undergraduate or graduate students, in the areas of food, finances, and housing resources. We understand that oftentimes students who might need help with certain things don't necessarily know which resources they can benefit from or which resources even exist and are out there. So for that reason, we recommend students meet with the Basic Needs Peer Advocate. They will sit down with them one-on-one, take the time to understand what their situation is, and then they'll work together with the student to come up with a plan that addresses whatever needs they're facing. When it comes to things like CalFresh application process, also, this is an area in which they are particularly well trained. So we recommend, if you're interested in this, to visit the food.ucsb.edu/CalFresh website. You'll find our hours for our in-person physical location at the Student Needs Advising Center. And you'll also find options for connecting with advocates remotely through our website, through email, phone, all that other good stuff. Okay. So I know that's a lot of information that was just kind of thrown at you at once. I don't expect you guys by any means to remember it all. It's my job to remember all these things. I don't always remember all these things. So there's one thing that I want you guys to remember. It's the website that I keep bringing up, food.ucsb.edu. This is our hub for all things basic needs. It's where we have all the information that I just presented to you guys. Feel free to visit this website, check out what's on it. There's a lot of great content. That's why my background plugs this website so obnoxiously loudly. And we also recommend connecting with us on our social media. So we're at UCSB Thrive on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And we also have a monthly and bi-weekly newsletter for students and faculty respectively. And you can sign up at that URL right over there. If there are any questions you guys have, we will be in the, forgetting the name of the event that's coming up right after this, but we will be in there and you're welcome to meet with me and ask any questions that you may have. So, thank you guys.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alex. So next up, we have a representative from La Familia de Colores.
Hello, can y'all hear me? And then, may I please be made a co-host? Okay, perfect. So, hello y'all, I am Esmeralda Carolina Quintero Cubian. I am the current chair of La Familia de Colores, the UCSB, and we are the largest QTPOC organization on campus. We founded in the 1990s, and we have actually played a pretty crucial role when it comes to activism on campus. We, all the way back in the 1990s, our org helped found the Women of Color Conference. We have largely been a part of activism spaces on campus, such as El Centro. And today we focus on developing resources for our community. And regardless of whether or not you identify within the QT Latinx community, you're always welcome at a LAFA meeting. And we strongly encourage y'all to come out. In the past, we've held events such as Surfing with La Familia, Velas y Visiones, which translates to Candles and Visions, in which we made candles in El Centro. And we've also done restoration projects in which we brought a group of us out to Stork Ranch and helped plant indigenous plants just to help rebuild the environment. So we are most famous for our emergency fund. LAFA back in the winter quarter of last year founded the QTPOC Emergency Fund. And what we do is that we take in applications for 2-week calls, and that We will review the process between the board. Up to date, we've been able to award over $8,000 in community aid. What's really special about this program is that regardless of whether or not you are a UCSB student, it is open to you. So we worked really hard in developing this emergency fund to make sure that we could help our community in any way, shape, or form. And we've seen this in being able to assist folks all the way across the country from New York to right here in Isla Vista. And it's something that we're really proud of. We actually just finished our most recent call on Sunday, and we hope to be reopening the application soon. And then finally, we are going to be meeting irregularly for the fall quarter. We'll be posting events on our social media, so you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at La Familia de Colores, Twitter at Familia de Color, and email us at La Familia de Colores. If y'all have any questions, feel free to come to our breakout room. But that's pretty much it.
Wonderful, thank you so much. Esme is also our first ever Native Empowerment Coordinator, so huge shout out to Esme for all of the work that they're doing on campus. So please, yes, absolutely use them as a resource. So next up, we actually have Trans and Queer Commission. Esme, will you be presenting on behalf of them again?
Yes.
Okay, cool, wonderful.
Do you mind operating the slides for that one?
Yes, I can totally do that. Okay, give me just one moment.
Hello again, but this time for Trans and Queer Commission. So if you'd like to skip to the next slide. So Trans and Queer Commission is one of the advocacy commissions, a part of the Associate Students of the University of California, Santa Barbara. AS is essentially a student union, and what we do is that we help represent students to administration and to other bodies on campus. We also put on a bunch of programming. You may be really familiar with probably the most popular branch of student government, which is AS Program Board, who's really famous for bringing in famous artists. I believe earlier they brought Bretman Rock, folks like that. So Trans and Queer Commission especially is famous for how we can help support our student organizations. So we act as a funding resource for all of the organizations on campus. All you need to do is come to our meetings, which are currently on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. And you just need to tell us what you need the money for, what you're looking to do, and how it falls in line with the mission statement of the commission, which is to advocate on behalf of queer and trans students on campus. And you can go to the next slide. So one of our next primary duties is facilitating Pride Week. Pride Week is one of the largest times of year for Queer and Trans Commission, and also just for the QT community on campus. It's one of our largest events. It's really famous for having a huge drag show and just a bunch of events that you can honestly fall in love with our community. It's one of the few times we all get to come together on campus. So now you can meet our officers. Brandon and Daniel are our co-chairs. The co-chairs are those tasked with leading the commission as a whole, and our vice co-chairs, Ethan and Sebastian, they are the ones in charge of planning Pride Week. They are the heads of that section of the commission. Next, we have Stephanie, our administrative chair, which functions similarly to a secretary. You can see me all cute there. I'm the internal coordinator. So I facilitate the relationship between the RCSGD and Trans and Queer Commission, as well as partnering with student organizations on campus to see how we can best support them. Especially now during a COVID era, a lot of what I do is helping these organizations stay afloat. Next is Ash, our external coordinator. A lot of her job is to see outside of the campus how we can best support the QT community, regardless of whether or not they're a part of UCSB. Next is Kaidua. So the International Student Engagement Coordinator is a brand new position that was brought on this year in hopes of bringing in our international QT students. A lot of what he does is to simply facilitate a relationship with OISS and also putting on events that are super engaging. Next is Anu. Anu is the Cutie Pock Engagement Coordinator, also my little. A lot of what they do will be engaging with our Cutie Pock community. They're also an employee for the RCSGD. Lastly, Alex. They are the Trans and Gender Nonconforming Advocacy Chair. They work on projects such as bringing all gender restrooms to all buildings on campus. Not me saying lastly. So Emily is our media person, Manny is our Senate liaison, so basically they represent the commission to the AS legislative body. Chris and Jack both have the ability to put on events, whichever they choose. They've been working on bringing free STI testing to students. And then if you want to get involved with Trans and Queer Commission, you can. We actually have some positions available. The only caveat is that the applications are due this Friday on October 16th. And if you'd like to switch, we can see which positions are available. So we have 2 emerging leader commissioners. These are incoming freshmen and transfers who are basically given free rein to assist the active chairs with their own projects or taking on new projects of their own. Next is Pride commissioners. They work specifically with the vice co-chairs in planning the events of Pride Week. And then they also assist my position with the execution of Queer Leadership Council, which is basically a forum for all of the QT student orgs to come together and discuss what we're working on and what we hope to achieve. And then finally, the newest position, which is added to the commission as of last week, is the UndocuQT Advocacy Coordinator. This position is going to be advocating for UndocuQueer and UndocuTrans students on camp here. And then we're also looking for them to execute a minimum of 1 event. So if you're interested, please apply. I would love to have you on the commission. I promise you it's fun. It's a little bit of a gag fest. And if you have questions, feel free to ask. You can also ask Anu, who is also in the forum.
Yeah, I'd be happy to answer anything.
And then you can find us on Twitter. You should follow us. We post a very cute photo shoot of all of our members. It's a little bit of a tradition in which we post the best unveiling of our board. You can also email us with any inquiries. And if you're also looking to see how you can get funded, you can also email us at tqcom@as.ucsb.edu. And I think that's it, unless y'all want to ask me anything. Thank you. It is Chanel.
Wonderful. Thank y'all so much. As y'all can see, there are so many ways to get involved with student orgs on campus. Next up, from Student Mental Health Coordination Services, I'm going to hand it off to Armando.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dwayne. And thank you so much to the RCDSG staff for giving me an opportunity to speak in front of you all today. You know, I'm so grateful to be a part of this campus and to have a chance to connect with our amazing LGBTQIA+ community. So my name is Armando Flores. My preferred pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm the Assistant Dean and Director of Student Mental Health Coordination Services, which is a department within Student Affairs. And so I want to start off by saying that more than ever, mental health is just as important as physical health. And as a community, I hope we can have a shared commitment just to take care of ourselves and each other. And now I wouldn't be surprised if many of you, especially new students, hadn't heard of Student Mental Health Coordination Services before, but just know that we're a campus resource that helps provide a safety net to assist students who are struggling. That's kind of like the main point of what I wanted to make sure the message got across here today. And I want to just give you all a brief overview of what our services are so that you would know why you might find yourself connecting with our team at some point. So I'm just going to attempt to share screen real quickly, and I promise to try and make this as quick as possible. Let's see. Can you all see our terribly updated website? The Distressed Student Guide. Can you see that right now? Okay, great. Thank you, Dwayne. You're the only person I can literally see on screen right now. So as I mentioned, our website is not great, but I'm going to share another website to make sure you all have access to the resources. But really, I want to just highlight the primary responsibility of Student Mental Health Coordination Services is to help manage the campus distress student protocol, which you see right here. And essentially, through this protocol, we provide support, response, and interventions to students who may be in distress and in need of help. And so, I understand this is a little bit more of a heavier topic. I really appreciate all the sort of vibrant and, expressive sort of opportunities to be able to connect with students and resources and website that we're seeing. And this may be a little more serious, but I just think it's helpful to know. And I wanted to make sure that I was able to connect with you all to sort of share that, our team takes a very holistic, student-centered, and inclusive approach towards supporting students. And we really do our best to meet students' needs where they are no matter where you are in your academic or personal journey. So in order to help you all better navigate your time on campus, our professional staff, we all have, are available to help connect with you. We all have mental health backgrounds, but I should clarify that we don't provide confidential treatment like CAPS or care. And so I do want to emphasize that because it is a question we receive sometimes, but I really want to sort of make sure that you have the opportunity to connect with us if there is a question about that. So if you're hearing all this information and you're a little unsure of when you want to connect with us, here's a few things to keep in mind. So if you're worried about a friend or classmate who's starting to display some concerning signs that they're not doing well mentally and you're just not sure what to do, reach out to us. If you have a friend that's having a hard time navigating multiple campus processes and are experiencing a combination of difficulties related to academics, financial concerns, health and wellness issues, interpersonal connections, reach out to us. We can help point you in the right direction. If you see or hear someone make any kind of implied or direct threats towards you or someone else, and you aren't sure what to do next, maybe there's some concern about involving police or student conduct, and you're sitting with that uncertainty, and it just gives you that feeling like, man, I really feel like I should do something, but I don't really know what to do. Reach out to us. We can help talk you through that, understand what campus options are available. We are mandated reporters through Title IX, so I just want to give that caveat in terms of if care makes more sense for you to be able to connect with. But we have access to what I consider, essentially our resource specialists within our team. We actually also collaborate with a lot of different campus offices. And can you all see the student well-being website now? Perfect. So we're actually listed on this website, and this well-being website, which has recently been revamped. And honestly, I tell people this is our department website because it's so nice looking now. But this has a lot of the resources that we're actually just speaking about today. So it has our distressed student protocol, which really kind of works as a citizen tree and helps you understand where you can go for support, and also access to a lot of the resources that you heard about: the financial crisis response team, our basic needs resources, counseling and psychological services. And so we're really there to help sort of shepherd you or get you pointed in the right direction, but understanding that it can be overwhelming in terms of your experience. And so whether it's connecting with a member of staff, a campus peer, whoever, just know that if there's some need to sort of elevate that concern, or you want to reach out to someone and you're not exactly sure, maybe it has to do with someone who's in distress, maybe someone who's in crisis, you just want to make sure to get them connected to the right place, please reach out to us. That's why we're there. And the best way to be able to do that, I'll put a couple links in chat after I'm done, is by following our distressed student protocol, or if you just literally Google search distressed student UCSB, we're the first search that comes up. And by going to the referral link that I'll send later, essentially you send a referral to our team. We respond within 24 hours during regular business hours to help connect and respond to your concern. We also have a phone line at 805-893-3030, which also I'll put in the chat, that you can leave a message for us and we'll definitely get back to you. So that's all I really wanted to make sure you were aware of in terms of our resources. Thank you all so much for allowing me to be in this space today. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to welcome each and every one of you to our campus community. You may not ever need our support as a resource, but I hope you understand the support and care is available. And please don't be afraid to reach out to us at Student Mental Health Coordination Services. Thank you all so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Armando. So we actually have like 7 more videos that other departments have prepared. However, I want to make sure that we're respectful of y'all's time and y'all still have the opportunity to go table. So all of the departments who have made videos, we will be showcasing your videos, all of your materials, your handouts, your slides, all of those will be sent to all of the folks who have registered for this orientation, and also it will be made available on our website, and we'll also use it for advertising purposes to cross-promote our various organizations. So I want to thank you all so much for participating in today's LGBTQ+ orientation. Thank you so much for joining the RCSGD. We really hope that you will be able to utilize these resources, that they'll be useful to you, and that y'all are all excited about becoming a part of the university campus. We're here for you anytime that you need. We're just an email away. All of our services are, we're all still working full time, and we want to make sure that at the end of the day, you're feeling supported. So thank you once again on behalf of the RCSGD,